Now we come to regional comics, regional cartoon spaces, where two important people, one is Bireshwar and the other one is Kutti. Out of respect, Khanduri, when doing work on Bireshwar, calls Bireshwar Ji. And very interesting to note that they both were very dear friends, and they had long distance friendship, and they both came from two different spaces. But interestingly, Kutti also worked for Bengali newspapers, and people often used to get surprised as to he coming from Kerala, being a Malayali, fluent in Malayalam, how can he work for a Bengali newspaper? So that was quite interesting for people to note. And he was also a follower of Shankar. Shankar was called as the Guru by Kutti. Now we have Bireshwar, who was born in Kashi and mostly influenced and learnt uh, drawing in and around his place. He also later on moved from Hindi language to English language, but he comes from that rich tradition of the Hindi vernacular. Both of them used to talk about the everyday political life. It was not about an event in the politics of India, but people's life in and around politics on an everyday basis. Uh, Kutti, his enduring importance, pact was seen in Bengali language. Most of his great works came in Bengali language, and his inspiration came from when he first saw a cartoon in the temple, which was on Panchatantra. So the title was uh, Cat Sannyasi, and the Panchatantra became the inspiration for him. He had worked under Shankar as well for a quite long time, and both of them are extremely uh, very famous for the kind of cartoons that they drew, which we will discuss in a while. So, in regional spaces, these two people dominated. Bideshwar and Kutti were among the first cartoonists to establish political cartooning in India, India's mainstream media. So we see that Tagore published it in volumes, in two volumes, where he put all his caricatures together. And then we see Shankar, who came up with a weekly, Shankar's weekly, where he used to draw. But it was these two people, Bireshwar and Kutti, who contributed to political cartooning in India through mainstream media. Both artists left their mark on Lucknow based newspaper, the National Herald. Bireshwar rose to become the staff cartoonist, while Kutti's contribution began earlier in his career. They both, in ways, were very witty, and their cartoons offered a critical and humorous lens on the Indian politics and society. Bireshwar and Kutti maintained a long distance friendship. Later on, Kutti moved to US and he died there. Exchanging his ideas and letters despite working in different Hindi and English publications. So, though they were working in two different languages, we see they still had that kind of friendship. They still looked out for each other and also influenced a lot, both. Now, coming to their cartoon, first we'll discuss Bireshwar. So Bireshwar's topic is without malice. So the cartoon's topic is without malice, and there are few people in that cartoon. Two men are tied to with rope. Maybe their wives have tied them to the rope, it seems, because their wives are standing in front of them, and in the bubble thought they are saying something. And there is another tree where a man is sitting with a book, and the title of the book is written Law. And then there is another set of people, a man uh, and a woman. So how the commentary goes on, so the first man looks quite old, and when the woman is almost shouting, her his cap just levitates on the air like in shock. Give me half share from the property. So it is about the Hindu Code Bill. So earlier in the Hindu Code Bill, women did not used to get the share. So this lady is demanding perhaps this old man is the father. And then there is another man, and this woman is shouting and saying, I will divorce you. Earlier, Hindu women also did not had the uh, agency to fight against patriarchy and ask for divorce first. And next, we have another lady who is again shouting and saying, marry me without dowry. So this was the subtitle says some Delhi girls have demonstrated in favor of the Hindu Code Bill. So this cartoon was made in and around the Hindu Code Bill by Bireshwar. And then comes Kutti. Now, very interestingly, Kutti has no title of this particular cartoon, and there is a residence, and on the gate it is written finance minister's residence, and inside there is a tree, and on the tree has a lot of fruits, and a man is standing on a stool. That man is Manmohan Singh, and outside there is Pranab Mukherjee, who is smoking a cigar and moving. And he says, I planted the seed, he enjoys the tree. So at one point in during when Indira Gandhi was the prime minister, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee was the finance minister during Indira Gandhi's rule, and he was the one behind to pay back the IMF loan. So therefore the tree is written, it's written IMF and World Bank, and the fruits is being plucked by Manmohan Singh and he's eating. So it is a commentary on what Pranab Mukherjee did as a finance minister. Uh, the benefits now lately when the new finance minister is Manmohan Singh during the time of liberalization, he is reaping the benefits. Now we have another political cartoonist called R.K. Lakshman. He was the younger brother of author R.K. Narayanan, who wrote the book Guide. Now, he was initially rejected from the J.J. School of Arts, where he spoke about being rejected also when on a later date he was asked to come as a speaker. He got his first job at the Free Press Journal, Bombay, 1947, where Shankar had also worked. Comparing the style of Shankar, Lakshman had a very different school of cartooning, but even there seems to be some sort of comparison. Comparing the style of Shankar, Lakshman had a different school of cartooning. Even then, they both were compared. His daily cartoon strip, You Said It, featuring the common man, ran over 5 decades in the Times of India. So he was basically known for his cartoon and the common man that appeared in this cartoon. This common man was a silent observer of the society. He is a middle class individual wearing a checked coat, and he represents the voice of the common people. But we'll often see him not making any sort of commentary on the political, social, cultural issues with which is giving us the humorous insights. Now, with that, we also see that the common man was labeled as the consumer, and like every other common man in India, he shared the trait of silence. So common man did not had the agency to speak or make a comment on the politics that was going around, and he was also one of them. Lakshman's cartoons don't rely on gods as Tagore's, or he did not make religious commentary or demons or folk tales to explain politics. Instead, he used very everyday life as inspiration to talk about or bring it in a humorous way in his cartoons. He follows the standard artistic rule but adds a controlled twist to it, capturing and caricaturing people, simple people. His style is very subtle and his cartoons are never exaggerated. Uh, Now, while discussing Lakshman, we see his craftsmanship shines he skillfully enhances the simple elegance of his cartoons and intricate details. So, two very interesting cartoons of his that we are about to discuss. One is There Are You, The Dawn of the New Era 2005, and Buried Decades Ago 2005. Now, both these are very important and interesting at the same time. So, we see there is a picture, uh, the dawn, to satirize the economic mood of the nation, and which is called the dawn of the millennial or the new millennial. The common man gazes at the budget painting being drawn. So the minister is standing and he is painting the budget, and it looks very shiny, and there is a bubble, thought bubble, where it says, there you are, the dawn of the new era. And on the backside of that painting, there are these common people, poor people, who are peeping out. So it seems as if the bubble and also legs are coming out from there. So the rising sun is written as budget, and there are houses, greenery, everything other than the real issues regarding the major population, the poor population of India. And the second one, Buried Decades Ago, is about the the yesterdays or yesteryears, the problems of the society, especially the problems of sati, dowry, untouchability, caste, and everything, the evils of the society in a way. So the picture is, the common man is there, and another person is standing, and common man is looking in amazement. There is a burial site, or a tombstone, better to say, and it is open, and people, like, it looks like ghosts. So ghosts are coming out from there, and these are the ghosts of sati, ghosts of dowry system, the untouchability, because in the tombstone it is written buried decades ago, and sati, dowry system, untouchability, child marriage, caste system. And so this never left the society. The country believed, or how it was shown to the larger population, that these things are very conservative, and it has been buried, moved out of the city decades ago, but that's not the case, and that is why uh, the common man is looking in amazement. Now the next cartoon of Shankar is about Gandhi. So he says that there is a place, it looks like an old town or a village. So the houses are made of straw and tile, and it looks like a small village. But there is Gandhi who is walking, and interestingly, it is written Mahatma Gandhi Road. It is a commentary on what liberalization did to India. Gandhi was one who was promoting Swadeshi, and Gandhi was one who was fighting for the nation's independence. But now Gandhi is amazed to see that the name itself is Mahatma Gandhi Road, and all the foreign brands are there. So on the walls of the house, the ad is of Pepsi. There is a bullock cart which is filled with Coca Cola, and on the side of the bullock cart it is written "Enjoy Coca Cola," and there is a hut where it is written Kellogg's Cornflakes. There is Eat at McDonald's, Gucci, Sony. All these brands are there, in a way talking about the liberalization, how it is coinciding, how Gandhi would be imagining India like this, or did he ever imagine India to be somewhat like this. Now we have Abu Ibrahim, another very significant cartoonist. He drew Emergency Days. So he was the only popular voice who brought out the turmoils of emergency days. He was the one who was bringing out the evils of the reign of Indira Gandhi. Now, he was a renowned voice, Abu Ibrahim, and a prominent Indian cartoonist known for his sharp wit and social commentary. He has called that period as the dark period, during which the emergency of India 1975 to 77, a time of strict censorship, So we saw two people, Kutti and also Shankar, who drew their cartoons, and it ended before emergency because of censorship. And there is Abraham emerged as a defiant voice. So his works can be used as a archive for popular voice during the emergency days. His satire on the face of oppression. Abraham continued to produce cartoons that subtly satirized the government and its policies. So basically, he was a very good friend of Rajiv Gandhi, and he knew Indira Gandhi personally. Even then, he had that courage to bring out the discourse around emergency, how it is seen as a evil in the politics and in the nation altogether. Now, two very important cartoons of him. One is Indira Gandhi holding a shaft and written revolution, and she's pulling a donkey, and the donkey is tied by the neck, and there's a rope that she's pulling. It is during the emergency period where she promised to bring revolution, but she made the cabinet pathetic. Their mental status and plight is represented in this particular cartoon, where it seems that the cabinet is unable to speak, and it could also mean that Mrs. Gandhi is choking them and just dragging them along with that. They are unable to resist. And the other important political cartoon on Indira Gandhi, there's a wall painting or picture of Indira Gandhi, and the leaders or followers of Gandhi are standing in front with folded hands, and it is written, "Madam on the wall, fairest of the wall," which reminds us of Snow White, where the stepmother used to ask the mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is fairest of them all?" So, in the similar way, they are already declared her to be the fairest. Now, he has been able to navigate through the censorships through the cartoons that he brought in, and he employed clever metaphors and imagery to convey the meanings. So these two cartoons of Abu Abraham tells us that how it was so uh, interesting and opposing in the same way that he could bring these discourses of emergency in and around his cartoons. The Chronicle of Resistance, he served as a historical record of emergency. So we can say that it is also in a way an archive, capturing the anxieties and struggle of the period of emergency. His most famous cartoon, scheduled to be released 3 days after emergency, it was censored. So he is the third person whose cartoon was censored during emergency and before emergency as well. We have O.V. Vijayan, and O.V. Vijayan is also amongst one of the cartoonists who drew political figures, and he, as it has been talked about, and Unni, one of the contemporary cartoonists, says this for O.V. Vijayan. He junked anatomy altogether and reduced his figures to geometrical forms, which he spread around in a space that held like today's computer graphics. The background was left under detailed or was bottled out by the black patch, inked in with a coarse cloth. He seemed to be preparing the cartoons for darker days. So he also has talked about the darker days of politics. Again, bringing back in context Indira Gandhi, he had also drawn a lot of cartoons in and around Indira Gandhi. Vijayan, a skilled writer, he was also a multi-talented person. Other than being a cartoonist, he was also a writer, and his cartoons became more serious, with his outlook grew gloomier, especially by the mid of the 1970s. So see, we are again in that era of emergency, and he again trying to bring in that outlook by the cartoons that he made. He already black patched it because he was preparing himself for the darker days, as mentioned by Unni. It could be due to the national mood of the war. Initially, they won the war, the Bangladesh war. Peace was lost, election won, economy lost, a nuclear implosion. To show off and so he's targeting the smiling Buddha. Nuclear show that is mentioned, and the jobless young ready to explode. Mrs. Gandhi's fortunes were getting too mixed for comfort. So he's giving a picture of what was happening during the 70s. It was a mixed period, but mostly he felt more gloomier, which was also coming out in his pictures, in his cartoons. With the inclusion of female cartoons, we see that India lagged great female cartoonists in terms of number, but we still have a handful who can be seen as the inspiration for the coming generation of female cartoonists. So, this India Book House, first comics publisher with the educational approach towards comics, brought in a large number of middle class women educators who in turn hired more, in return they hired more women illustrators, and this is how they brought in the women cartoonists in India. Maya Kamath is one of the most recognized, and another one of Maya Kamath's inspiration was this Canadian cartoonist Lynn Johnston. So, Lynn Johnston was actually the inspiration for Maya Kamath, and the popular strip on the life of the family, for better or for worse. And this seems to have brought her to cartooning. And we also see that her career as a professional cartoonist began in 1985 in a comic strip in Evening Herald. Another important person in amongst women cartoonists was Manjula, and she was also considered among the few acclaimed women cartoonists of this genre. Uh, like before Kamath, she had used cartoon strips and called it Suki, but it was not political in nature. And therefore, if we are talking about political cartooning, which was later published as a book, had been not political in nature. There were other cartoonists who belonged to the realm of women political cartoonists. Meeta Roy, Samita Rathore, Nalini Reddy are some other women cartoonists whose names surface occasionally, other than Kamath and Manjula. We further see that what might be the reason for Kamath's for the absence of female uh, political cartoonist, and Ritu Khanduri gives us the reason, and one of the reason she states is for the scant references, uh, could be that Kamath had died early. So, due to Kamath's early demise, we don't see many female cartoonists, female political cartoonists in India. Another, Manjula, who became internationally famous later on, drew political strips, not daily political cartoons. So, these two might be the reasons, and she says that we don't know why the other people, other cartoonists like Meeta and Reddy, they did not make it to as great as Kamath and Manjula did. Now, two very famous cartoons of these female cartoonists, let's discuss. So, one is made by Manjula and the other one is made by Maya Kamath. So, the cartoon made by Manjula, there is a stage and she names it the Miss Satellite Contest. And there are various different news channels and anchors, especially the female anchors, are on the stage, and it is in a way very disgraceful how people understood Doordarshan. So there is Miss CNN who is in a beautiful nightgown, and then there is Miss Star in a dress. Then we have Miss Sun. It was a Tamil based channel, news channel. She's wearing a floral sari, nice bun. And then there is Miss Doordarshan, who's shown like a fat lady with round glasses, which is unlike what these three, and therefore it speaks out loud how people used to consider Doordarshan, and also did not uh, go back to Doordarshan to watch news, because the news readers according to them were not beautiful enough. And then we have by Maya Kamath, and there is the parliament building on the background, and five women standing with a placard, and it's written, "A woman's place is in the house." So it is very witty uh, s- thing that is written in the placard. A woman's place is in the house. Basically, they are talking about the parliament house, and not the house where they are asked to be domestic. Now, the contemporary cartoonist. Now, there is a long list of contemporary cartoonists, beginning from Ajit Ninan. We have Unni, Gokul Gopalakrishnan, Keshav, Manjul, Ravi Shankar Ethe, Krutika Susarla, which we already discussed in comics. Then we have Sandeep Adhwaryu, Satish Acharya, and Uday Dev. Rachita also we have discussed in sanitary panels. So these are the contemporary cartoonists. We'll discuss two of them. One is Unni and the other one is Uday Dev. So Unni is very recent cartoon that came up in Indian Express, 13th May 2024. Freeze frame, it says, and it's Election Commission of India, and there are a lot of papers in there, a stack full of files and papers, and the Election Commission chairman is sitting, and this is a reference to, they are saying that why are you referring to Mr. Seshan, who was in office as Chief Election Commissioner, Chairman, between 1990 to 1996. Now, Mr. Seshan was a very dynamic figure. He fought for the Bahujans, and he was assassinated, he was murdered. And Unni makes a dig at the Election Commission. Next, we have Uday Dev. So, Uday Dev has made a sketch kind of a face where the man is saluting. He is wearing round glasses, looks like a chubby man or a boy, and the mouth is stitched. And in each stitch, it is written one word, and that word completes as freedom. So, in a way, our mouths are stitched, and we are unable to speak, which is one of our fundamental rights, right to speech, which is being taken away. So, with this, we conclude the cartoonists of India.